Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Adrian's Digital Basement 2. On today's video, we're going to be taking a look at, well, this pile of boxes here. I don't really know how to go about making this video, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to make this video, but I put a question to my patrons, asking them what they thought I should do about all of this, and they thought I should make a video about it, at least just checking out what's in these boxes. So what you see here is a pile of stuff that all came from an Apple service center. So these are actual official Apple replacement parts that an Apple dealer, or I guess an official service center, would use to fix Apple computers. And yes, that is right. From the very beginning, Apple worked this way. They didn't allow their dealers or computer shops to do board level repairs, although I assume really early on with the Apple II, I'm sure some amount of that was going on. But if you brought your Apple computer, whether it be a Macintosh or an Apple II, into an official Apple service center for repair, like something was wrong with it, the only repair they could do is swap out entire components. So what we have here are those parts that they would swap in to repair machines. So we have motherboards and power supplies and other random stuff. This is contrasted to like TRS-80 Radio Shack or Commodore, for instance, which of course, it was very easy to get your hands on the schematics. You could just buy a copy of them. And then it had all sorts of information about how to do your own repairs, and Commodore would sell their custom chips like SID chips and VIC-2 chips and whatnot to any computer store that wanted to do repairs of their machines. They didn't, as far as I'm aware, do any kind of thing like this where you had to buy the original part from Apple to get machines fixed. And I'm sure there are lots of people watching who maybe were dealers and can speak more about this, but it's my understanding that Apple would also request that you send back the original board, like if you switched out the motherboard. So when you put a new one into a computer to fix it, the original had to go back to Apple to make sure that someone didn't just fix it, you know, like say it was a simple fix, and then sell that. Apple themselves wanted to be the ones doing board level repairs so that they could then turn around and sell those as refurbs and whatever. I don't know the exact details, but I know they were very, very strict. So this pile of stuff was some of the stuff that was at, I guess, or someone was holding that was from a local dealer. And I thought this stuff would be interesting and potentially useful for the channel, which is why it's here. So that's the intro. Probably I'm gonna move the camera over to the bench and then we'll just start taking a look at these one by one. And actually, let me just preface one more thing. The reason why I want to open these is because there are like motherboards, like a Mac Classic motherboard in here. And we know Mac Classic motherboards have leaky capacitors on it and batteries that can leak. So if those are installed on the board, well, the batteries that is, then I need to remove them and recycle those. And if it's things that have leaky caps, then I need to put it in my queue for things to be recapped, because it would make no sense to have brand new unused parts that just are rotting away in boxes here, dying because of corrosion from leaky caps or batteries, right? So that's the reason I'm going to be opening all of these boxes, even though I know for sure some of these do not have leaky caps, but hey, it'd just be kind of cool to see brand new old stock parts, right? Okay, here is the first box. So I'm not going to spend too much time looking at the outside of the box, but this has some kind of an Apple computer label on it that I guess would have been a shipping label of some kind. It is so faded, it's completely impossible to read, although it says Apple Computer Inc., Service Operations, 800 East Hamilton Avenue, Campbell, California, 95008, Dock Door 7. I guess that's like the return address for this. WPO7M, and you know, I don't know. All right, I don't know if the camera's going to be able to get this close, but hopefully it is. So Apple service, part number 6610462, and it says Mac 110 volt power supply, Plat. So I'm assuming this is for like the original Mac 128, 512, and Mac Plus. It's the platinum color, which affects the power switch that is on the back. I think that's the only thing that really is differentiating of these things. Sorry, I'm a bit close up. The rest of the box doesn't say anything except Apple service like that is printed on it. And if I turn it around here, there is another label. It looks like it's exactly the same. So no matter how you store it on your shelf, you can actually see what this is. So let's take a look what's in here. Okay, so there's like a 100th generation photocopy here that says Apple Macintosh, and it looks like it's a little bit of safety precautions on how you discharge the CRT before you replace the power supply, because of course you have to disconnect the high voltage anode cap. Okay, back in foam. All right, there it is. Now I can tell right away. Let's just see if anything else is in this box. Nope, there is nothing else in here. All right, right away I can definitely tell this is indeed what it said it is. And as you can see here, it's got a static label, 3M 2100 anti-static bag. There's the back. Let's just open this up. I know I'm breaking the seal and people are gonna be like, oh, I can't believe it. You know, it's new old stock, it's worth a fortune. You know, for me, it's more important that we use this stuff, not that it sits around and never gets used. So, wow, there it is. Brand new board, no corrosion of any kind on this. Wow, that even smells nice. And a power switch that, you know, has never been touched except for in the factory during the testing. And just look at the shine. Look at the shine. Super nice. So there is the cord to connect to the motherboard. Now, what's interesting is like this rubber, I don't know, it's like a sleeve, it's sticky. So that's just sort of what happens. I mean, if you ever open up one of these old Macs, you're gonna find that that is the case. Look at this. There is a reefa cap. There's a couple of reefas. Let's get a closer look. So there's a reefa that's never been powered up. Let me get a flashlight. All right, hopefully that's visible in the camera, but even though it's never been powered up, it's still got the old cracks in there, as the reefa gets, just from age, right? So there it is, a brand spanking new flyback. We have the high voltage cord here that's completely never been used. Now check this out. This is sticky as well. Never even installed. So yeah, I find computers all the time, and this is sticky, and I guess that just happens with age. Not a whole lot else to report. I do notice that the brightness knob here does not have the knob like the actual knob that sticks to the front of the computer. So Apple would want you to switch that from the supply that you take out of the machine, and almost assuredly that knob could be ordered as a particular replacement part from Apple, as well as the battery door, which of course is not installed on here. And grab a pointing stick. We have some ICs on here, and take a look. 1992 15th week, and this one says 92 6th week. That's an LM324, and this is of course a 7438. So that just sort of tells you how late this particular power supply was actually manufactured. And I am kind of stunned by that, but I guess it makes sense that Mac Pluses and Mac 128s and whatnot were still in demand, or in use, that is. So of course, they were still making power supplies for replacement and repair of those machines. And actually, look at this sticker right here, part number 6610462, which I'm pretty sure is written on the back of that, on the outside of the box. And that must be the date code right there, 1992, 29th week. So I don't know when they stopped making the Macintosh Plus Platinum Edition, which would be the machine that this goes with, but this might be one of the very like end of the line for these power supply replacements. Eventually Apple would have stopped making these altogether. So if you had one of these machines that used this and the power supply died and you took it to an Apple dealer, well, they'd probably just tell you, oh, I'm sorry, something you can do. How about this Macintosh Classic? It's nice and cheap. And I wouldn't be surprised if Apple charged a fortune for this board. Like, I bet you this was like $300 or $400, and that's before labor costs, taking the computer apart and swapping it out, even though it's a pretty quick job, probably charged you an hour of labor. So you'd probably get out $500 replacing the power supply on your original Mac, when you could probably go find a used one at that time for a similar price. Anyhow, I won't be doing any testing of these parts. I'll probably separate all the relevant parts by machine, depending on what I find here, and then we will test all that stuff on another video. Maybe I'll kind of make together a Hackintosh or something. Let me grab some stickers. We're going to use some of these Adrian's Digital Basement stickers. I know I haven't actually done QC on this yet because these are actually QC stickers, but it's just something to hold it closed. All right, next package. And this one actually has a label that is completely clear. So this came from a different service operation building in Elk Grove. And this one went to RDR Incorporated here in Portland, Attention Service, on 740 Northwest 114th Avenue. Not quite sure what's there now. But you can see right here, it's part number 6610370, Mac SE power supply. And on the side of this box, same kind of thing right here, same part number. And that is it. There's another sticker over on this side. And looks like someone's been inside this box. Let's open it up. All right, and there it is. So if you know your Mac SE, you know that its analog board, which is basically on the side, just like on the Mac Plus that we just looked at, has a separate power supply made by Sony. Although this one, well, we'll see in a second. I don't know if this one's made by Sony. This one's made by Aztec. Maybe Aztec was one of the suppliers. Looks like there are two stickers on here and one has been ripped underneath at one point. But we're gonna open it up, take a look. All right, there it is. It's a lot less interesting than the one on the Mac Plus, but let's see. Oh, this one is definitely not new because look at that. Power switch is quite worn out. So it's quite possible that this was taken out of a machine that was in service, although there's a sticker here that says DEX 3994, so 39th week of 1994. That's pretty late in the game. But yeah, this thing is not perfectly clean. So I'm gonna say it's not new and it may or may not work. Okay, well, that's good to know. I'm gonna get the notepad out. We're just gonna write some notes here to say need to test. I mean, obviously we need to test all of this stuff, but I'm gonna put need to test. Not new. You know, I've never actually looked inside one of these to see if it's got refills, but I don't see any. Not right off the bat. I could see some, I think they're called polyester caps down there. It's probably in the place of the reefa doing like X filtering. Oh yeah, they're over here. Filter caps are right there. Oh, and look at this actually. So date 8825. So that's the original manufacturing date of this. That was like early on the run. I think the Mac SE came out in 87. So this would have been a year later. And there's the output and stuff. So definitely the Aztec supply is there. But I wonder, is this DEX, is this a refurb? Has Apple worked this over and then sent it back to their service center? And they didn't even change the power switch? If anyone was at Apple Service Center back in the day and that's what was going on, definitely please let me know. I'm super curious about that. Okay, here we are with the next box, and this one is unopened. Looks like it went to the same place, and according to the side here, if that focuses, Mac SE analog board, part number 6610371. 6610370 was the last part that we just looked at, the power supply, and that power supply is attached to the analog board. They kind of go together. So I'm breaking the seal on the box there. Looks like this has 2 layers of tape on it, so I guess someone may have already been in here once before. So we may be finding that a lot of this stuff is not new and is actually refurb, or was replaced in a customer's machine and they put back the original power supply back into the machine. So this has some paperwork and something inside, and let's get this out. So let's see, what do we got for the seal? Now, this one only has 1 seal sticker on here. So that is ripped now. So when we talk about the analog board, like I said, the power supply gets attached right here. And then this part here is the actual monitor that like runs the CRT itself. All right, so this board has 1987 date code on it. So it's pretty old. It's in very, very nice shape though. Like, it doesn't look used because when you run a CRT, of course, high voltage is generated and you get a lot of soot. I was gonna say condensation. No, you get like this black dust all over everything. This, on the other hand, does this have black dust on here? You know what? It might be just cleaned. So I'm wondering if that's like, again, the refurb process from Apple, that they get these and they clean them. But if you take a look at the fan there, that looks perfect. I don't see a speck of dust on there. But I'm definitely gonna say that this flyback is definitely not brand new. There is some of that soot on the sticker there. I just wiped it off with my finger. It's gonna be hard to see because it's metal shield. But this screams refurb to me. It really screams refurb. Especially because this has clearly been cleaned because the fan is perfect and the flyback is nearly perfect. Look at, there's a little bit of a dent in the shield of the flyback as well. I'm just looking to see if I see any more stickers or date codes or anything like that, and I do not. And on the back side, it looks perfect. Although I can definitely see, what's it called? Witness marks, where screws were screwed in right here and here. Let's take a look at what's in this. So it looks like paperwork and, oh, a ferrite, new ferrite, not ferrite bead, I don't know, ferrite thing that goes on the cable that goes to the motherboard, I guess. There's a zip tie. And this looks like that same 100th millionth generation photocopy that was in the power supply for the Mac Plus. I mean, that's a picture of a Mac Plus even. Let's see here. Here is the ferrite bead. I guess they call it a ferrite bead, even though it's not so much a bead. So there is ferrite bead installation. This is literally like 10,000 photocopies later. This is a photocopy of a photocopy 10,000 times. And yeah, there it is, connected up for the Mac SE and SE30. I know people are gonna say like, well, someone could have opened this and, you know, restuck the sticker on, but I mean, look, it leaves residue. Maybe it didn't back in the day. I'm not sure. I'm really thinking that these are refurbs. And this is just typical for what Apple did. You'd send it in, they would send you back a refurbished power supply that was cleaned up and, you know, in a new bag or whatever with some instructions. And that's what your money paid for, your expensive money, when the reality was you were just buying repaired stuff. And I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, right? Your Apple dealers don't have to have the technical knowledge to do board level repairs. You hire a company or it gets done at Apple themselves do it. I think they outsource that stuff these days, but it does quicker turnaround because if this is in stock in the store, you walk in and they have a power supply already on the shelf, they swap it out, you get your computer back and you're good to go. You send this back to Apple, which is probably why that box has like 2 layers of tape. They fix it and then it gets shipped out to another dealer as a spare. All right, on to the next box here. Oops, I knocked something over. What does this one say here? Let's see. Okay, there we go, 6610597 power sweep board for the Mac Classic. So it's the power supply and the sweep board, which is the monitor, also known as the analog board, and for the Classic. And this one was already opened. So someone definitely has been in this. All right, so there it is. That's what it looks like for the Classic. You have this part here, which of course is what goes to the, you know, I just realized that the Mac Plus didn't have this. It's connected with the connector on the Mac Plus, but on the Classic, as you can see, it's like permanently wired in. Okay, so this looks really, really clean, like brand new level of clean. Look at the anode cap, Stickorama. Ooh, it's very, very sticky. Let's look for any evidence of dirtiness. Don't see any, but you know what? This is weird. I don't normally see this heat shrink on here on the high voltage wire, so that's interesting. Nice. Let's see here if I wipe the sticker. Yeah, no soot's coming off at all. I'm not seeing any dust of any kind. This thing looks absolutely pristine. Let's look for date codes. There we go, 1991, 22nd week is on that IC. Thing is, that's when this computer was actually being made. So that doesn't really tell us a whole lot. but the power switch tells us quite a lot. That looks totally perfect, absolutely perfect. There's not a speck of dust inside the IEC connector. The backside, yeah, it looks pretty clean. But yeah, okay, so that's cool. Typical problems with these, and I can see that is already happening. Look at this. These caps leak right here. They are good quality caps too. I think they're Nichicon. Yep, they're Nichicon. Let me zoom in, and you can see that there is already leakage. I gotta adjust my camera. It zooms very, very slowly. Okay, so yep, you can see there's leakage right here. Right there. Yep, these are leaking already. So I don't remember which ones leak, if it's like these tall ones or these shorter ones, but I've had many Mac Classics where these leak. These never do, it's these. So for whatever reason, Apple, Nichicon by the early 90s, they were just not good quality anymore. And to be honest, I have other power supplies that are later into the 90s that have Nichicon caps like this, and they all leak too. So this is definitely, I do to deal with this. So even though this board looks brand new, just trying to see if there's any damage back here. There's a bit of, yep, there's electrolyte on the back there too. Yeah, that smells bad, sticky. So at the minimum, I'm gonna have to go back, rip these caps off. This is brand new and it has leaky caps. I'll have to rip those caps off, and I don't even know if I have replacements right now. I think I actually do, but I'm not gonna do that now. That is gonna be something to write on a Post-it note here. Leaky caps. I think that's gonna be a little bit of a recurring theme with this stuff. Typically what happens with this board is when these caps leak, right here, the electrolyte kind of goes over this whole area of the board right here. There's a little IC there, there's some diodes, stuff like that, and that's exactly what's happening right here. There's just the capillary action. Let me move that. What this section of the board does is the voltage regulation, and there's the voltage regulator or the adjustment for the voltage right there. And this stuff here is like the comparator and whatever, and when that electrolyte gets on there, it just throws everything all out of whack. So what I really, really recommend is if you do recap the board, the problem is the speaker's riveted in and there's this transformer and the flyback. You don't want to get those wet, but I really recommend like soaking this section of the board down here once you get the caps off to clean off the electrolyte. I turn the board like this and then I spray alcohol here and let it like run off the board. And you'll get a whole lot of like brown gunk with the alcohol. And in fact, what I like to do is just lay it down on the table like this and put the alcohol in that area and let it sit and soak. Hit it again. You got to flush that all out. There's just going to be a lot of crap in there, and that can cause your power supply to malfunction. And I've had that several times with Mac Classics that I've worked on. So yeah, leaky caps. I'm going to stick that on the outside of the bag. So I guess that's really kind of the reason why I'm doing this exercise, because I figured there's gonna be problems with this stuff. Even if it is truly new old stock, there will be issues like leaking caps and things causing havoc on there. So case in point right there. Alrighty, next up, this one has a similar sticker to that first one, like that had this on it. That was unreadable. And this is readable. Move this back a little bit. Going to RDR Inc., same address here in Portland. There is a date that's visible here. It says 1/24, so January 24th, 1994, Mac 110 volt power supply, beige. So I'm assuming that this is for the Mac Plus again, but the beige version, not the platinum version. I'm surprised you could get both. There's the Apple Service Center sticker, 6610461, beige. And as I said, the tape, which is kind of fallen off, there it is. Okay, so what do we got in here? Important, read this. Mac Plus power sweep replacement. You ordered this replacement with a beige switch. Due to material constraints, we're shipping you a Mac Plus power sweep board with the platinum switch. The power sweep is the same with the exception of the color. We will have temporary random material shortages in the beige switch and will periodically be shipping the Mac Power Sweep with Platinum switch in its place. So you took your Mac in for replacement and you would get the wrong board. How freaking rude. Oh, look, it's that same board, paper, but this one has not been photocopied like 10 billion times. So the text is actually sharp. Okay, what do we got in here? Yes, we do have what looks like a Macintosh power supply board. Of course, we know it's the wrong one. It's the Platinum one. Definitely not opened, but we're gonna look anyways. I assume this will be exactly like the other one, and it sure is. So there it is, a brand new. Wow, yeah, you know what? It has that smell. So this is interesting. This is not sticky. And honestly, Capetronic? Did the other one say that on there? I don't think it did. Look, this one has a big 110 volt sticker here. Everything else looks the same. But I do notice, I'm just quickly looking here, I'm noticing here 1988. Although this I see here is 1990. So we have two different date codes there. Hopefully that focuses. Also, I have to say on the other one, I do not remember the battery holder having that sticker there. But definitely no corrosion, not a lick of dust inside the IEC connector. This thing does look quite new, but the thing is that order date on the box was 1994, and you're getting one that has older chips on there, but I don't really know what Apple was up to. But yeah, it's weird how the sleeve here, not sticky. This looks new. That, of course, is sticky because that is just what happens. Let's see. Yeah, this looks new, brand new, no soot on the sticker. We have what looks like a brand new Platinum, even though it should be a beige power supply. Thanks, Apple, for giving customers mismatched power switches. I do have to wonder if this was something you had replaced on your Mac and they did this, would Apple later actually send the right power supply or let you exchange it again, no cost? I somehow doubt it. All right, we're getting into smaller boxes here. So this one has a date of 1993, June 15th. It says Mac Classic 1 megabyte. So this is obviously a motherboard. There it is. Mac Classic 6610596 logic board, 1 megabyte Macintosh Classic. So there we go. This has been opened. Let's see what we see. And there it is, not sealed at all. So let's see, how bad are the caps gonna be on this? I predict bad. And yeah, obviously the seal has been broken. Okay, so this is funny, I'm sorry, I just got distracted. So this static sensitive sticker is made in Madras, Oregon. And it says the company name is De Leon Corp. Interesting, Madras, huh? All right, so that I can see there's a battery in here. Luckily, it has not leaked. There we have it. You know what? Those caps are leaky. Just that fish smell right away. So first thing is we're getting this battery off of here because no way I want to leave that on there. Do we want to test to see what voltage that is? Yeah, sure. Let's grab the multimeter. It's up here. Okie dokie. There we are, we on the right mode? Yes. Let's see what we got. Is 0.0374 volts. At least it's not negative. That is a dead battery, which I assume the deader it is, the more likely it could be to leak. Just put that back on there. But yeah, the caps definitely leaked. It's not horrible from a corrosion perspective, though. That is good. I can see like these leaked all around this area. There's sort of like a dull spot where you can just see it. See, there we go. You see that right there? That's the leakage distance. And over here, Can't really tell on these ones. But it's been in that bag for so long. When I opened it, it didn't have that nice new smell that the Mac Plus power supplies had. It had a fishy, leaky cap smell. So I don't know if this has been like reworked or repaired. I don't see any obvious signs of rework. But we can see date codes on the various ICs are from the 90s, like 91 or so. Anyhow, for sure this is going to need a recap. I can already smell those leaking caps. I am sure this board works once it gets recapped. Now, honestly, the fact that like this was clearly opened, you know, I don't know if the dealer opened it or what happened, or someone else opened it before I got it. I don't really know, you know, if this stuff came from a dealer. I mean, obviously it was at a dealer at some point, but I don't know if like someone had it in the interim as well, which may well be. I'm gonna put the ones that need recaps on the outside. The board looks pretty new. There's no speck of dust. Does not look used at all. I mean, machines that are Mac Classics, when they're running this fan and it's dusty in there, the motherboards get dusty. It's very obvious when they're being used. This one certainly looks brand new. Okay, here is the next box. Move the battery out of the way. This is a big boy here. Barely fits in the camera. I really need to get a wider angle lens. Same address. The date on this is 3/30, so March 30th, 1994. How cool is that? And I don't think I'm gonna be able to show the sticker because the camera won't focus, but oh, maybe. Mac SE, Logic Board, RAM Select. Who knows, 6610526. And the box is big. It's quite long. And doesn't have seal on it. The tape has been broken. But there we are on the inside. It's funny, the foam, what was there? But there it is, there's the motherboard. It looks sealed and brand new. Look at that. Now what's cool is Mac SEs do not have leaky motherboard caps. So that's not necessarily a problem here. There may be a battery installed though, and that might be an issue. All right, so Apple sent us a little paper here. Identifying Mac SE logic boards. When replacing a faulty logic board, keep in mind that 2 logic board configurations are available as exchange modules for the Mac SE. There's the board 66, why did the light turn off? It says logic board 6610536 should be used to support any Mac SE. 6610536, that's the same number, should be used to support any Mac SE originally shipped with the floppy drive, high density drive. And then logic board 6610526 should be used to support SEs that originally had 800K drives. Well, yeah, because there's the disk controller chip, the integrated WAS machine. There's like a super version, a super integrated WAS machine, SIM. I don't know, I call it SWIM, but it's SIWM. And there's a replacement ROM. With those two parts, then the Mac SE supports high-density disk drives, which shipped in the later machines. But you could totally use one of these later logic boards in the older machine with the 800K drives. It works perfectly. It's backwards compatible. But that is what Apple is saying. It says, be sure to use an exchange logic board that is configured as the same as it configures. An exchange logic board. What does that mean? Like the refurbs that they send? Is that what that means? Ah, a little trick there. The battery on the original logic board was soldered, and then the later ones, the 0536, was the one with the little battery holder. And there it is, it is called the SWIM. Wow, so it is IWM, integrated WAS machine, that's the disk controller, and the SWIM, super WAS integrated machine, I guess. But I thought it was the SIWM. Anyways, and different ROMs. So it's telling you what chips to look for. So we look at this board, take a look. It's got a soldered battery on there. So we can tell that this board, which doesn't look new, well, I mean, it looks pretty new, but it's certainly got dust on there. You see the dust right here? Look, there, I just wiped that. So definitely not brand new. And look at this little mess here. This is the RAM selection. So something's been going on there. And what's this? Oh, wait, no, this is the RAM selection. It's got a little jumper board. I've never seen that. And I've worked on a bunch of SEs. Usually you just have to cut and reinstall resistors to change the memory configuration. Apple has a little board there to do that. Has anyone else seen that before? But yeah, the fact that this is dusty really implies that this is like a reverb, I guess. Take a look at this. Look at that bodge there. There's a resistor soldered on there to the, this is the 8530, the super serial controller chip. It's the, whatever controls the serial ports. That's the SCSI chip, the ROMs and the SWIM. Now we have the main processor, and I think like this is like a, kind of a, like a glue logic chip that replaces a whole bunch of TTL chips and GALs and PALs and stuff that were on the older Macs into that chip. And potentially this one as well. Does this have Apple part number on here? Yeah, that's, well, 65C22. Oh no, okay, that's the IO controller chip. That's just a regular 6522. That one is. But this is the custom Apple chip right there. So if that chip is bad on your SE, you're out of luck. This is the Apple / Sony sound chip right there. Does that also control the ADB? ADB's over here. Real-time clock, ADB, there it is. That's the ADB chip. This is it's a PIC. Wow, it's a PIC chip. I don't know if I've ever noticed it's just labeled as such. It still has an Apple part number on it, 1987. PIC 1654-506. Anyhow, I'm noticing something else. Look at this. Broken SIM slot. That sucks. That really sucks. It's not like it's unfixable. But, and it's funny because it's usually these clips right here. But not normally these little standoffy things here that hold the SIM in place. So that means this module not gonna stay in properly. So that's, I guess that means that this board is, I will have to try to desolder that entire memory socket and replace it, which is a pain, a real pain. Anyhow, I'm just checking as well. The disk controller is definitely the original integrated WAS machine. It is the 3440043A. It's also used on the Apple IIc, also on the Lyran cards. Those Apple II cards support the disk drive. The chips are, you know, on all of those. So yeah, okay, well, let me get the paper. This thing's got busted SIM slot, but probably gonna work. Oh, I'm gonna cut the battery out before I put this away. Broken SIM socket. I mean, it's nice as original papers here, but not so nice, Apple. Let me get some clippers. Let's snip, snip. Okay, battery's out. We'll test that in just a moment. Let's put this all back in here. You know, it's funny. How did that SIM socket get broken? I mean, this bag was sealed. It just was sealed. So I'm assuming it just with age? I don't know. I can't really explain it. All right, we'll just tape that up. You know what I'm gonna write? Mac SE, and I'm gonna put 800K. So I know it does not have the SWIM chip on it. There it is, SE with a broken memory slot. All right, I grabbed some smaller boxes here so we could take them all, take a look at them all together. Here we go, 0760311 fan upgrade kit for Mac SE. The original label is gone. So there it is. And you know what's kind of cool? This looks like exactly the same fan that was in the Mac Classic, or not the Mac Classic. What was I just looking at that had a fan? Oh, it was the Mac SE motherboard. So I'm pretty sure the original Mac SEs, and there's some screws and stuff in there, they had like a fan that looked like a cage, like it spun around, it was cylindrical, and it was pretty darn noisy. This fan is definitely not used. We have a Sanyo Denki fan, patent pending 12 volt DC, brushless, 0.07 amps. So yeah, it should be pretty quiet. Look at that, I guess you're supposed to solder it on yourself. I think that my original Mac SE, that was my family machine, which is the one that has the Mac accelerator in it right now, has the old noisy fan in it, I think. Although maybe I upgraded that at some point. I don't quite recall. But yeah, okay, there we go. New fan. All right, next up, we have 922 2733 Mouse 2. This was unopened. So this would be the later ADB mouse, the kind of smoothed off one. And there it is. Brand spanking new Mouse 2. Not too much to say about that other than that's cool. Okay, next one has a label. Let's take a look for a date. This is from 1992, March 19th. Same address in Portland. And it looks like it's a trackball for the Mac Portable. There it is, 6610475 trackball Mac Portable, quantity 1. Looks like it's open. Someone has cut into this. And there it is, the trackball for the Mac Classic, or Mac Portable. Let's break the seal on there. Now, I know people have been asking and asking and asking. I have a Macintosh Portable, and I don't know if the trackball works on it because it needs a repair. Look at the number of pins on the connector. How weird is that? Huh. There it is, a brand new trackball. Are these like failure prone, or maybe someone like spilled something in there? It's almost like a space bar. Look at that. Isn't that funny? It's very easy to push though. It doesn't move that smoothly considering it looks brand new. So anyhow, this will be set aside for that Mac Portable because, you know, maybe it's got a bad trackball, who knows? All right, next thing, here it is. No label on the top. We have 9220055 speaker bracket assembly. What the heck? Someone opened this up, but it looks like it's unopened in the front. Is this for like a Mac SE? Oh, the label is, yeah, this is the Mac SE speaker. Yep, definitely. That's kind of cool. And you know, look how custom that is. So I guess if you have a Mac SE that ends up with a bad speaker, you're gonna have to like bodge something into the Mac SE or Mac SE 30. Unless this is also for like Mac Classics and stuff. It says Rigol on there. There's the writing, if I can get that to focus. 1 watt, 16 ohms, and a 2-pin connector, a speaker. And one that means if it dies, you can't just throw a regular one in because it's got this weird bracket thing going on. All right, sweet. I'll stick that back together. Next box. All right, here we go. 6610477 Mac Portable Keypad. It looks like there's a sticker over a sticker there, so obviously same here. You can see another sticker underneath. So I guess, and this is unopened. Let's take a look at this. Oh boy, there it is. A brand new with Scotch tape. Thanks, Apple. Here we go. What does it smell like? Let's smell. Doesn't smell like anything actually. Brand spanking new keypad. Nice. No one's ever typed on these except for, you know, maybe a technician. Apple computer, and it's Alps PCB, so these are going to be Alps switches under there. Very nice. Not too much to say other than it's brand new. And it's got the same connector. No, now that I think about it, is it like you could have this, or you could have the trackball in the Mac Portable? The Mac Portable's not reachable at the moment, but this has exactly the same form factor as the trackball. So I am assuming that you could swap out the trackball for this, and then you have to use an external mouse, but that would make it much better for people who are doing a lot of like spreadsheet type work. That is cool. This might be a rare piece there, isn't it? Interesting. Okay, well that is for exploring again. And here's the trackball, by the way. And yeah, these are exactly the same footprint, form factor. The screw holes are in the same place, everything. So I'm assuming this is what's in there by default, and then this is what you can optionally install. Very neat. Okay, one more small box here, and this one shipped the same address. Look at this. Extended keyboard key set. Huh. Wow. There's the part number, 6587010. No, 7010, yep. Macintosh SE extended keyboard. So this will be the extended keyboard 1, not the later 2 version. And this is the brand new, wow, look, no wear. These are space bars made out of ABS. The rest of these are PPT, so they don't yellow, but this does, and it gets wear spots from typing on it, and it's got none. So, whoops, that is pretty cool. It does seem to have a little bit of a warp to it, though. Do you see that in the camera? Seems a bit curved. Anyhow, brand new set. Look at that. Enter key or return key. How cool. I do not see any stabilizers or anything like that. So I guess those were separate parts to order. So that's pretty special. I do have one of those keyboards. Maybe it deserves a fresh set of keycaps. All right, there's only 5 more boxes, so don't worry, this video will not go on literally forever. Oh, I forgot to test the voltage on this. Let's just do that really quickly. There we go. This is the one I took off the Mac SE. All right, the good old Varta. It's a lithium battery. It's not a NiCad battery, so it's very much less likely to leak. All right, 0.9 volts. Certainly has more juice than the Mac Classic one did. This one right here, which is a different brand, SAF brand, made in France. This Varta, on the other hand, lithium ER half AA, made in West Germany. Let's get that to focus. International batteries right there. Thank you for not leaking, though. All right, as I was saying, we have 5 more boxes left. This is the first one, mouse ADB2 Rev B. So we got another mouse. Is there a date? There it is. The date is 10/3/1996. I have already misplaced the knife. There it is. So I assume this is exactly like the mouse that we already have. It's going to be exactly the same. There it is. What exactly is the difference? Who knows? The other one is sitting right here. Can compare things. Both say Apple Desktop Mouse 2. Do not see a single difference except for this sticker right there. Otherwise, they look absolutely the same. Both brand new. Alrighty, here we go. Next thing is this with the UPS sticker, memory expansion card 6610598. Well, the only thing I can think of that uses an expansion card is the good old Mac Classic. So that's probably what we have here, and we do. Giant box for a little card. Why exactly was it in such a big box? I think there's a cap on here, one cap that will need to be replaced. Oh, it does have a cap, but it has a tantalum installed, so nothing to worry about. I guess it could short. Nothing broken. This adds an extra 2 megabyte, so you plug this in, you get 2 megs, and you can put 2 more SIMs on here for either at 512K more, so 2.5, or you get 4 megs total, which is the same as you could on the Mac Plus. And SIM installed and SIM not installed. So there you go. Pretty boring, but you know, that's cool, because if you have a Mac Classic and you don't have one of these, it kind of sucks, because it doesn't have enough memory to do anything, and you can't just install more RAM on the motherboard. Alrighty, here we go. Next box, a little bit bigger, so I just have the one. 1996, 1.4 meg floppy drive, floppy disk BR bracket, 19 male, I don't know. So maybe it's got the cable and the disk drive. It's definitely sealed though. Sorry, label, I'm gonna have to take you off. Now, of course, these Apple disk drives made by Sony, they are famous for having broken eject gears. So I'm imagining that this is gonna be exactly the same. That doesn't just come from like wear and tear, that's just from age. This exchange must be repackaged in exactly this manner when it was returned as defective. Considerate planning has gone into the packaging design to prevent damage in shipment. We will not honor warranty claims unless the defective mechanical assembly is repackaged in exactly this way. How rude. No, just kidding. Okay, so this is not, wow, this is like, this disk drive is for, I don't know, a laptop or something else, not one of the computers. Still made by Sony. Let's open it. It's very slimline. Is this drive for the Mac Portable, perhaps? No, this is like for one of those later Mac laptops, the ones with the gray color scheme, because that does match that. Huh. Sony model MPF22A-01. And the normally, like, they probably sold a version of this that would be usable on PC laptops that would just have a normal, like, really slim eject button right here. But of course, it's got this add-on assembly right here, which is the eject motor. So this may not have any problem with stripping gears or whatever, but I don't even know what this is for. Let me grab a disc. Let's just stick it in, see how it's working. Well, it sounds positive and good. So this is where the normal eject button would be. So there you go. So yeah, if anyone knows what Mac this is for, please let me know. But judging by the fact that the date on the sticker here is right there, 1996. So this is for those Macintosh laptops, those ones that came after the Mac Portable. Right, okay, cool. I think those drives are relatively reliable. Obviously, they have a replacement, so they did break sometimes. All right, we have two more boxes here, and these both appear to be disk drives. We have Fdhd Superdrive, so this would be the 1.44 meg for like all of the Macintoshes that use the full height disk drive. Well, I mean full height, not really the full height. I don't know, the ones the Mac SE used, SE30, Mac 2, 2CI, those all use the same type of mechanism. And I've made a repair video where I kind of show you how to clean them. It's not the best video in the world, but I talk about how to service them. And it's got the same note that they will not honor the warranty if you don't repack it the same way. Well, there it is, and it's heavy, and it looks absolutely brand spanking new. But even with that said, it's probably gonna have bad eject gear. I bet you it'll work when I go to test it, which like I said, I'm not gonna do right here. But I bet you after like one run of the drive, it would very quickly break. So yeah, 1.44 megabyte drive. This would be for like the high density Macs, and it looks absolutely perfect. So that is excellent to have a spare, because I've had a few of these come through that I could not get working. Like just whatever was wrong with them, they were intermittent and not working, and this one looks really nice. Let's see how gummed up it is. Nice. Nice click. Yeah, nice. Now, one thing you notice, did you notice that this drive and the other drive did not ship with one of those discs in there? That's kind of interesting. I remember some Macintoshes shipped with like a yellow sort of a 3.5 inch dummy that you stuck in there. And I guess Apple didn't ship the replacement parts that way. Obviously that foam and stuff helps not bang it around, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. Anyhow, it's pretty cool to have one of these drives. So 1.44, I don't know, not much else to say other than that, just so I can tell it apart from any other 800K drives. Nice. Okay, we have the very last one here, which is another disk drive, I think. The date is 1991. That is November 19th, 1991. Alrighty, there was no label. And look, it's been opened. There was no label, no paper saying if we don't reseal it, Apple's gonna, ban us for life or whatever they do. This one is a little heavier, and it's definitely got the Mac SE. Oh yeah, this does not look new. See how there's like fingerprints on there? The drive is very, very clean though. And this is model number MP-F51W23. And you can see that number right there. I didn't actually read the model number off this other one here. MPF75W-12G, and it says 2 megabytes. So it's pretty easy to tell them apart. It has a 1995 date code, by the way. 2 megs right there will tell you that, yeah, this is the high density version, which the difference is Apple 800K drives like this run at different speeds, depending on where the head is on the disk. But the 1.44 meg format is exactly the same as PC format, MFM, and it's a single speed, you know, 300 RPM or whatever I think it is. So the drive is like a dual mode drive, that other one, that this one is just not capable of. This doesn't say anything about, you know, 2 megs or anything, so that's kind of one way you can tell. But this is definitely in, I would say this is the Macintosh SE mounting bracket here. So this screws in here, SE and SE30. And then any additional ones you have, you can stack 2 on top of each other. It latches in here. Let's see how this one is from a disk perspective. Gummed up or not? No, not gummed up. Nice, positive, clunky action. Very nice. I can see that the grease, though, is still looking a little yucky there. So, nice to see a good quality, very clean. I mean, maybe it's been touched or used, but it doesn't look dusty. So if it was in something, it was taken out of something very, very quickly. But, as I mentioned, gear will be bad, and that is just how it goes. Now, incidentally, by the way, these are interchangeable. You can use this in the newer Macs, and you can use this in the older Macs. Totally works. If you put the high density drive into the older Macs, it just won't use the high density. It will just use the 800K part of it, and totally works. In fact, I have a Apple external disk drive that has a high density drive in it, and that's you know, the one that was originally designed for the 2GS, and it completely works perfectly on the 2GS. It, like, even though the 2GS doesn't support high density, and I am pretty positive that even when I plug the high density drive in the external case into a Mac like SE30, it works as a high density drive. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that is the case, even though I do not think Apple ever sold a high density external disk drive. You know what? Scratch that. They must have, because they sold a disk card for the Apple II, I think, called the whatever. It's expensive, and it lets you use a high density disk drive. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, if anyone has any knowledge about that, yeah, definitely comment down below. All right, so I'm gonna write 800K for my knowledge. And that is actually that. That is everything. And there is some of the aftermath of opening all those boxes. And there's even a little bit more on the floor over here. And there it is. This is all the stuff that I opened. Well, there's some stuff on the desk too, but these are the motherboards and things. So yeah, that was kind of intriguing, actually. It's kind of curious how there were absolutely no duplicates. Okay, correction, there was one duplicate. There were 2 of those mice that were exactly the same, but everything else was a one-off. So that's sort of weird. You would think like an Apple Service Center would probably have some amount of duplicates, but maybe they were very lean and they did not keep a lot of excess stuff in stock, and they just kind of had like one of everything to fix stuff. So yeah, we have a beige Mac Plus power supply. We have a platinum one, even though they're both platinum. We have a Mac SE power supply. We have a Mac SE analog board. We have a Mac Classic analog board that has leaking caps. We have a Mac SE motherboard with a broken SIM slot. It's the 800K variety. We have a Mac Classic that needs recapping. And of course we have the memory expansion for that. This is the leaky cap on the Classic. We have a keycap set here for the extended keyboard. And then we had 3 disk drives here, and a fan for the Mac SE, a speaker for the Mac SE, and I put it over to the side, it's over there, the Mac Portable Trackball and a Mac Portable Keypad. So yeah, really interesting hodgepodge of stuff. I'll probably do some testing off camera, but I suppose if people really want to see me test this stuff, then put comments down below and I guess I can make a video about that. But yeah, I'm fully anticipating that both of these disk drives here are going to need gears, or if they aren't broken yet, they will be broken very soon. And those recappings of those other boards and testing of the Mac plus analog boards. So here it is, a bunch of Apple Service Center replacement parts. Nothing is amazing or really cool here. This is just neat to have some extra parts, to be honest, to fix some of my machines. I kind of have like one of every machine. I have a Mac 128 all the way through the SE30, Mac Classic, Classic 2, Color Classic, which we don't have any parts for here. So I have all the machines that need these parts. So it's actually nice to have spares in case any of those break, like I lose stuff on those. Now I do have the odd, like I think I have a spare SE motherboard that viewers have sent in. I think I might have a classic motherboard already, I can't remember. But yeah, some spares already, but it's nice to just have a set of like basically brand new spares here, although there's work to be done, to keep those machines running. So yeah, if people are wondering what I'm going to be doing with this stuff, I think that's what it's going to be. Spares, just to keep my set of Macintoshes running for the long haul. Because if something like a flyback dies on one of these Macs, you can't just go buy another one. So it's nice to have a total spare flyback, for instance, for some of these. So yeah, there it is. I hope you found this interesting. If you did, you know, thumbs up. If not, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, second channel. It really, really helps me out. Main channel has videos on Saturday. Second channel is usually on Wednesday, but sometimes Tuesdays, Thursdays, sometimes Saturdays, all over the place. Patrons, thanks very much. Their names, they're scrolling up the side of the screen. They support me so much. They knew about this stuff before anyone else, not to mention they get early access to these videos when I finish editing them. And the Google upstairs is talking, even though I'm in the basement. Yes, that's annoying. Anyways, and that is it. So stay healthy, stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye.